This safety rule exists for a reason. Have you ever wondered why certain safety rules seem overly cautious? Why factories have so many warning signs? Why construction sites require hard hats even on sunny days? Today, I'm going to share a story that changed how I view workplace safety forever. This is about understanding that behind every safety regulation, there's usually a real incident that made it necessary. The background meets Sarah Thompson, a quality control manager at a manufacturing facility in the Midwest. For 15 years, she'd been known as someone who got things done efficiently. She was respected, experienced, and took pride in her work. The facility produced industrial machinery parts, and Sarah's job involved inspecting components on the production floor several times a day. One particular rule had always seemed unnecessary to Sarah: the requirement that all personnel must wear steel-toed safety boots in the production area with no exceptions. Management was strict about this policy. Every employee received 2 pairs during orientation, and supervisors regularly checked compliance. The incident that changed everything. On what seemed like an ordinary Tuesday morning, Sarah was running late for an important quality inspection. She'd come directly from a meeting with corporate executives, where she'd worn her professional office shoes. The inspection was time-sensitive because a major shipment needed approval before the afternoon deadline. Instead of taking 5 minutes to change into her safety boots stored in her locker, Sarah made a decision she would later deeply regret. She thought to herself, "I'll just quickly check these components. I've walked at this floor 1,000 times. Nothing has ever happened before." She entered the production floor in her regular shoes. The inspection was going smoothly until a forklift operator, following proper protocol, transported a pallet of metal components nearby. The operator could unsee around the tall stag and didn't know anyone was in the designated inspection zone at that moment. Even though he was driving at the proper speed and sounding the horn at intersections, a single component, weighing approximately 8 pounds, had been positioned incorrectly on the pallet. As the forklift made a routine turn, the component shifted and fell, landing directly on Sarah's foot. The immediate aftermath: the facility's emergency response team arrived within minutes. Sarah was transported to the hospital, where doctors discovered multiple fractures in her foot. What followed were 3 surgeries, 4 months of physical therapy, and a year-long recovery process. She could only return to her regular duties for 6 months and dealt with chronic pain that affected her mobility for years afterward. But the physical consequences were only part of the story. Sarah experienced profound emotional and psychological effects. She struggled with guilt about her decision, anxiety about returning to their production floor, and frustration during the long recovery process. Her family's daily routine was disrupted as she needed assistance with basic activities. The wider impact: the incident didn't just affect Sarah. The entire facility felt the ripple effects. Production slowed during the investigation, as is standard protocol. The company faced increased insurance costs and had to hire a temporary replacement for Sarah's specialized role. Her team experienced added stress from covering her responsibilities while maintaining quality standards. Most significantly, the incident served as a wake-up call for everyone at the facility. Workers who had occasionally bent safety rules began following them strictly. The company implemented additional training sessions where employees could ask questions about why specific rules existed. Understanding the why behind safety rules. This story illustrates an important principle. Safety regulations aren't created arbitrarily. Each rule typically comes from extensive research, industry experience, or previous incidents. Steel-toed boots, for example, became standard in industrial settings after countless workers sustained preventable injuries over decades. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration estimates that proper safety footwear prevents thousands of serious workplace injuries annually. These boots can withstand impact from falling objects weighing up to 75 pounds and protect against puncture wounds from sharp materials. The psychology of risk. Why do experienced workers like Sarah sometimes ignore safety rules? Research in occupational psychology identifies several factors. First, there's the normalization of deviance, where small rule violations become acceptable over time when no immediate consequences occur. Second, experience can create overconfidence, making people believe they're immune to accidents that happen to others. Third, time pressure often pushes people to take shortcuts, especially when deadlines loom. The human brain also struggles with statistical thinking. We're better at remembering dramatic events than understanding accumulated risk. Walking across a production floor once without safety boots feels safe because nothing bad happens. But over hundreds of trips, the probability of an incident occurring increases significantly. Lessons for everyone. Sarah's experience offers valuable lessons that extend beyond manufacturing facilities. Whether you're working in construction, food service, healthcare, or any field with safety protocols, the principle remains the same. Rules exist to protect you. Consider common safety measures you encounter regularly. Seatbelts in vehicles prevent severe injuries during collisions. Handrails on stairs help prevent falls, especially important for elderly individuals or people carrying items. Warning labels on household products inform users about proper handling procedures. Even in office environments, seemingly minor rules matter. Keeping walkways clear prevents tripping hazards. Properly storing heavy items on lower shelves reduces the risk of objects falling on people. Using step stools instead of office chairs to reach high places prevents dangerous falls. The culture of safety. Creating a genuine safety culture requires more than posted rules. It needs leadership commitment, employee engagement, and open communication. Workers should feel comfortable reporting hazards without fear of blame. Management must allocate resources for proper equipment and training. Everyone should understand that safety is a shared responsibility. Progressive companies now approach safety proactively rather than reactively. They conduct regular risk assessments, involve employees in developing safety procedures, and celebrate periods without incidents. Some organizations have safety committees where workers from different departments collaborate on identifying and addressing potential hazards. Sarah's advocacy today. After her recovery, Sarah became a passionate advocate for workplace safety. She now leads training sessions where she shares her story with new employees. Her message is simple but powerful. Do you want to learn this lesson the hard way? Like I did? Every safety rule exists because someone, somewhere, got hurt when it didn't exist or wasn't followed. She emphasizes that following safety protocols isn't about being overly cautious or lacking confidence. It's about respecting the accumulated knowledge from decades of workplace safety improvements. It's about returning home safely to your family every single day. Practical takeaways here are key principles everyone should remember. First, never assume you're the exception to safety rules. Second, time pressure never justifies cutting corners on safety. Third, speak up when you see others taking unnecessary risks. Fourth, ask questions if you don't understand why a particular rule exists. Fifth, proper equipment only works when you actually use it. The next time you encounter a safety rule that seems inconvenient or excessive, remember Sarah's story. Remember that behind many regulations are real people who experienced real consequences. These rules aren't obstacles to productivity. They're protections that allow us to work effectively while minimizing risk. Safety isn't just about following rules. It's about making conscious choices that protect yourself and others. It is about creating an environment where everyone can focus on doing their best work without worrying about preventable injuries. The 5 minutes Sarah didn't want to spend changing her shoes cost her months of pain and recovery. because every safety rule exists for a reason, and that reason is keeping people like you safe. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and remember, the life you protect by following safety rules is your own.